Hello everyone, and welcome to Impala Canada's Lac-des-Iles Mine. Thank you for making the journey to be here today. My name's Erin Satterthwaite, and I'm the Vice President of Corporate Affairs and Communications here. I have the distinct honor of opening today's event and welcoming each of you to our operation, which is in Robinson Superior Treaty Territory. And the land on which we stand today is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and the Métis. We respect the long-standing relationships of the 5 local communities of this land and place in northwestern Ontario: Gull Bay First Nation, Fort William First Nation, White Sand First Nation, the Métis Nation of Ontario, and the Red Sky Métis Independent Nation. We acknowledge the history that many nations hold in the areas around our operation, and we are committed to lasting relationships with Indigenous communities based on the principles of mutual trust, respect, understanding, and collaboration. As you may have gathered from your arrival here at site and from all the paperwork required beforehand, the safety and health of our workforce and our guests is of paramount importance. Thank you for your cooperation and your support of our protocols and our COVID protocols. Our entire safety group, alongside our management team and IT colleagues here at LDI, were integral to making today happen. And I want to acknowledge and thank them for their enthusiasm, their nimbleness, and their professionalism that brought us all together. So thank you everyone for being here. And I also want to thank Sharon Brownson, President of our USW 9422. Thank you for being here with your team. To Premier Ford, Minister Rickford, and Minister Fedeli, thank you for choosing Lac-des-Iles as the site of your important announcement today. We are incredibly proud of our operation and are grateful for the opportunity to share it with you and showcase it to Ontarians more broadly. Our first speaker today is Tim Hill, the CEO of Impala Canada. Tim was born and raised in Northern Ontario, and he has spent his entire career in the mining industry and believes deeply in the role we can and must play in supporting local economies and contributing to the global marketplace. Tim, over to you.
Thank you, Erin. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. On behalf of the Impala Canada team, I would like to extend a big welcome to Premier Ford, to Minister Rickford, and to Minister Fedeli. It is not often that we welcome dignitaries such as yourself to Lac-des-Iles, and we are delighted that you've come. There is no better place than our Lac-des-Iles mine to showcase the mineral importance and potential of northwestern Ontario. This Lac-des-Iles mine has been in production for 28 years. It is one of only 2 known palladium deposits in North America. Over the last 5 years, we have invested almost $500 million in capital projects and exploration activities to extend our mine life and to increase our production rates. Today, we are one of Canada's safest, lowest cost, and largest underground mines, delivering 30% of the palladium produced in Canada. Access to critical minerals is a priority in today's world, and investors and other stakeholders are standing up and increasingly demanding ethical sourcing, as well as socially and environmentally responsible mining. And that is what we deliver here at Lac-des-Iles and across Ontario. More than 75% of our goods and services are procured in Ontario, supporting more than 300 businesses in the province. In 2021, we committed more than $1 million to local organizations to support economic growth, community development, and positive social impact. Over the last few years, we have grown our workforce by more than 50%, providing good-paying, stable jobs to more than 1,000 individuals and their families, the majority of whom call Northwestern Ontario home. And I'm proud to say that this team is made up of some of the most talented, resilient, and committed people in our industry. We applaud the Ontario government's critical mineral framework. It's about working with industry and stakeholders to strengthen Ontario's competitiveness in global markets. And I believe that there are four key components that will ensure its success. The first is a strong, diverse workforce for the mines of today and tomorrow. We must develop strategies to attract future generations to the mining sector. The second is enhanced Indigenous participation. We have an opportunity to, together with Indigenous communities, to further enhance participation and deliver meaningful benefits. The third is a streamlined process to move from exploration to commercial production. Currently, it can take decades to get from exploration to production. We applaud this government's effort to reduce the red tape and build a transparent and dependable policy and regulatory framework. And the fourth is investment in 21st century infrastructure. The opportunity in critical minerals is here in Ontario. As we grow our role as producers, Ontario must also grow. To move forward, we require roads, broadband access, and enhanced grid capacity to fuel our mines with clean energy sources. Our collective vision is sustainable industry with hundreds of new jobs for our region for generations to come. I would like to conclude by thanking you, Mr. Ford, or Premier Ford, for coming to Northwestern Ontario and recognizing its potential. Mineral exploration and mining is already a significant economic driver in this region, and we are ready to meet the increasing global demand for our products. Thank you. I'd now like to welcome to the podium Michael Fox, who is the President of Indigenous Community Engagement. Michael is also Chair of the Indigenous Affairs Committee for the Prospectors and Developers Association of Canada. He is a Director of the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation, representing the Thunder Bay region, and is a past board member of the Canadian Council of Aboriginal Business. Welcome, Michael.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Timothy, for that kind introduction. I'm thrilled to participate in this exciting announcement today. As the global economy shifts towards a low-carbon future, there's tremendous potential for minerals in Ontario. The market is demanding access to reliable sources of minerals necessary for clean, innovative technologies like electric vehicles. This has never been more important in the context of supply risk, unstable markets for minerals that the North America economy needs to prosper. Ontario has a great opportunity to capitalize on these market dynamics because the province mining industry has a long history of collaboration, partnership with Indigenous communities and business across Ontario. As we unlock more opportunities for the mineral sectors, there will be new exciting partnerships in the future that will benefit Indigenous communities and the entire Northern Ontario economy. With that, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Premier Doug Ford to make this exciting announcement. Thank you, merci, and miigwech.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Well, that's great. Well, good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, Michael, for that introduction and for your ongoing community leadership. And thanks to Tim, Aaron, and everyone here at Impala Critical Minerals for having us here today. I'm joined by Minister Rickford and Minister Fedeli, and also two great candidates, Kevin and Pung. Hopefully you'll bring it home in June the 2nd there. And you won't find two stronger voices when it comes to supporting the mining industry and bringing opportunities to Northern Ontario. Friends, our government has a plan for growing a stronger economy, an economy that works for everyone, and it's a plan that's training more people to the skilled trades. It's a plan that will attract investment to create good jobs in our auto and mining manufacturing sectors. It's a plan that's connecting resource industries and workers in Northern Ontario to the future of clean steel and electric vehicles. And it's a plan that's building roads, bridges, and highways, expanding subways and public transit, and constructing more homes, all for a growing province. Our plan is building all of Ontario, and the cornerstone of that plan is happening right here in the north. Global businesses are searching for the materials, expertise, and human power needed to build technologies of the future. And I'm here to say, once again, look no further. That's why I'm so excited today to release our government's critical mineral strategy. It's a 5-year roadmap to expand extraction of the critical minerals that are now in high demand, minerals that Ontario has in abundance. This strategy details how we'll strengthen our supply chains, how we'll attract new investments to our province, and how we will ensure that the economic benefits are fairly shared with our Indigenous partners. A prime example is building the car of the future. Automakers all over the world are ramping up production of battery-driven electric vehicles. As everyone knows, Ontario has been a leader in North America's auto manufacturing industry for 100 years. And where the minerals come from for the batteries is right here in the north. And our government is working day in and day out to keep us leading the way for the next 100 years. Just yesterday, Honda Canada announced a $1.4 billion investment to retool their plant in Alliston to make hybrids, which builds on the past game-changing investments like the $1.8 billion Ford Canada is investing into its Oakville assembly complex to produce battery electric vehicles, and again, where the minerals coming from for those batteries right here in the north. As we secure these investments, we're connecting industries, resources, and workers in the north to the future of electric vehicles and batteries, as we also connect our growing auto sector to the clean steel being produced not too far away at Algoma in Sault Ste. Marie and Dofasco and Hamilton. Together, we're connecting homegrown industries of the future right here in Ontario, and there's no better place to do so. We have the natural resources, we have the best workers on the absolute planet right here, and we're creating the conditions for companies to invest and jobs to flourish. We want the electric vehicle boom to benefit both our auto plant workers in the south and the approximately 75,000 hard-working miners in the north. And through targeted investments and long-term strategies like the one we are releasing today, our government is making that happen. Past governments haven't been willing to commit to action on this file, standing by as valuable minerals deposits sit untouched in the ground and opportunities pass them by. They found every single chance to say no. Well, friends, those days are done. They're gone. Our province has come so far, and we can't afford to go back to the politics of no. Instead, your government is saying yes. Yes to safely capitalizing Ontario's mineral wealth. Yes to adding and protecting well-paying jobs all over Ontario. And yes to building the vital infrastructure needed to make it all happen. Friends, let's say yes to the better and brighter future that the people of Ontario deserve. I want to thank each and every one, and God bless the greatest miners in the world right here in Ontario. Thank you.
Okay, we're ready to take questions from the media. We'll be taking questions from the microphone. Just a reminder, it's one question and one follow-up.
No questions from the media.
Oh, no, I think
That's a great day.
We got some coming.
Oh, okay, I thought we were going to get away with no media questions.
Sure, go ahead.
Premier Ford, Adam Riley with Thunder Bay Television News, covering for multiple units right now,
Yep.
and technology's a little up here, so I'm going to go old school.
Not a problem.
This is from CTV. Premier Ford, the provincial election is about 3 months away. With COVID restrictions easing, are you considering, or have you considered calling an early election?
No, we're going to go to the polls on June the 2nd, and the people of Ontario are going to have a choice. They're going to have a choice, either going to go backwards like they did for 15 years, or they're going to vote a government in that's building highways and hospitals and schools and making sure that we're creating great paying jobs for people right across Ontario. They'll have a choice on June the 2nd.
move to my. Now I'm going to put my TBT hat on.
Yeah, no problem.
As from a colleague of mine. 300 workers have been temporarily laid off, considering you're here with a lot of workers here in Ontario at the Alstom plant as a result of low orders and numbers and everything. Is there currently a push for any new contracts from the province for light rail or transit vehicles? Does that kind of similarly fall?
Yeah, let me just make it very clear what's happening at Alstom. I'm going to be heading over there. I've been over there a few times speaking to the folks, and I'll be very frank, if we didn't invest what we did, that plant wouldn't even be open. We invested $171 million in the GO Rail, another $180 million in streetcars. We're going to make sure we support the workers there. They're retooling now. The CEO promised me those 300 jobs are coming back after the tooling. And do you know what's ironic, folks? The NDP voted against it. They voted against our expansion of the largest transit project in North America that affects people in Thunder Bay. We're spending over $30 billion. They voted against the GO Rail. So you know where we stand. We're a government that builds and supports jobs, and they go back to no on everything. They're anti-mining, they're anti-forestry, they're anti-everything. I don't even know how the heck they get elected, to be frank with you.
And last one, at least from me. The Lakehead Public School Board has asked the region's medical officer of health, Dr. Janet DeMille, to extend the mask mandate in their schools. Can you provide clarity on this? Does the local medical officer of health have the authority to impose a mask mandate for schools within their catchment area? It's Northern Ontario. We tend to lag behind the province in COVID cases sometimes.
Well, if there's an outbreak, that's not a problem. But again, some of these school boards, they think they're medical experts. I listen to the chief medical officer, and if the kids want to keep their mask on, God bless them. Keep your mask on, no problem. If you want to take it off, they should be able to take it off. But that's something that the local medical officer should be calling Dr. Moore and having him up, having a call with him, I should say.
Hi, Premier Ford.
Hi.
My name's Logan with CBC.
Hi, Logan.
When you started, when you campaigned, and were elected back in 2018, you said you would hop on a bulldozer yourself
Absolutely.
to pave the roads to get the mining sector open. The result has been a piling number of lawsuits by First Nations as well as by environmental groups challenging your policies, challenging the laws that you have passed. How can you provide certainty to mining groups, environmental groups,
Yep.
First Nations, that you will provide a path forward, that there's certainty in the regulations?
So I'm going to call Greg Rickford up. He's the expert on the mining. So, Greg, do you have a minute?
Yeah, thanks for that question, Logan. And that's only part of the story. In fact, across Northern Ontario, we're having increasingly strong signals from Indigenous communities that they want to be part of these mining projects. Côté Gold, Greenstone, all signatories, Indigenous communities locked into the business, labor, and environmental standards by which these mines operate. I would say that there's a majority of these Indigenous communities that want to be involved in. And let me say, in the context of where we are here today with this extraordinary team and what we're developing in the critical minerals space, not only did we do a thorough consultation, but I haven't met an Indigenous community yet who doesn't want to be involved in what this really is all about. And that's the single biggest environmental policy advance by any jurisdiction in the world, critical mineral strategies. That fancy iPhone that you're handling requires those critical minerals. The catalytic converters that are powering cars over the course of the past few decades comes from palladium right here. We're proud of what we're doing here. We're proud of how we're working with Indigenous communities. We don't dispute that there's more work to be done and that we can always do better. But increasingly, these Indigenous communities want in on the business, on the labor, and other elements of environmental assessments. That's happening, we know that's happening, and they're excited to be a part of it.
Right. I think in response, we did see the ruling, on the Juno mine that said that the government itself, its consultation process is actually corrosive to the process of reconciliation as a response to that. But my next question is, as we continue to mine these critical minerals that will help build, a greener economy and a greener future, how are you going to be certain that we're not irreparably harming the environment at the same time?
Well, Logan, the simple answer is there's no green economy without mining. So you and all of the folks who may take a position against this, let's be very clear. okay? There's no technology. National defense right now is a topic. Critical minerals are an integral part of that. The electric vehicle, from extraction to the electric vehicle, all require that. As I said before, we hear over and over again about the excitement and the enthusiasm and what this roadmap that we're announcing today is, and that is a greener way to extract critical minerals, take them to electric vehicles, technologies that the world's asking for, and frankly, in the context of the global affairs right now, bringing them from a jurisdiction that has high environmental standards, that is improving its Indigenous engagement and involvement in these kinds of activities, has labor standards and workers of a first class that are producing them in sharp contrast to the jurisdictions like China and like Russia, who are obviously creating large problems for the world today. Critical minerals can be extracted safely here in an environmentally friendly, responsible way, and that's exactly what we intend to do. Thank you for your questions.
Thank you. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Well, hold on, I haven't finished. You know, I just want to thank the men and women here. They're absolute champions. I'm very grateful. And I told the folks over there the story, but we're growing up, own a label company, and my dad used to always preach to us, the toughest job in the entire world is mining. Bar none, over anything. These are some of the toughest people I've ever met in my life. They've massive hearts. I usually don't pick one out of a crowd, but I'm going to pick one out of the crowd because I want to wish everyone a happy St. Paddy's Day. Erin, where are you? Erin, come on over here for a minute. Now, Erin, as soon as I saw her, Ford having the Irish roots, you know something? What an incredible person Erin is. And Erin, I got to tell the folks in Toronto, I'm staying here to have a little party tonight with Erin and the rest of the folks here. Happy St. Paddy's Day, everyone. This is one of the hardest working folks down here, and we just appreciate it. I love how women are in mining as well. Thank you, Erin, for everything you do, and thank you for the St. Paddy's Day spirit.
Thank you.
These are the toughest folks I've ever met. Thank you, guys and gals. Appreciate it. You guys are the best. And Mr. Putin, we don't need you anymore, buddy. We got all the mining we have here. There you go.